Acknowledge me.
You just made the list.
I am the BEST.
I'm better than you, and you know it. Damn.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here in Madison Square Garage around the pool table of relevancy. We have Dan Danielson to my left. To my right, we have Booker Ted E-Bear as Teddy Bear is feeling unwell.
Under the weather.
Yes, so it's just us two today. You'll have to deal with our ugly mugs. Let's get cracking, shall we? How was
Sure.
your week first?
Look, it's been a while since we've recorded. It's also strange because we're recording this at night.
Yeah.
So it's a bit colder, and I'm not used to like nighttime garage. It's not heated, so this is going to get worse as winter comes along.
Exactly why I wore my jumper today.
Yeah, I think I regret not having a jumper right now, but I think longer term throughout winter,
You'll be seeing this jumper a lot more.
we'll be
I tell
cold.
ya.
We'll be cold in Madison Square Garage. It's not heated.
That's all
But no,
good.
other than that, I mean, the
deal
week
with it.
week was fine. I can't remember what I did, to be fair.
Well, it's the start of the
I
big
had
week.
no child for a week. Like he was still away.
Yeah, that's right.
Because I was cranking
That's
out all
always
the
good.
dad jokes last podcast. That's right. My draft joke that was brilliant. We still couldn't get it on TikTok. Disappointing. Just chilled week. Lots of work.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
How about yours?
Yeah, it was good. Went to a concert on Friday night last week.
Oh, did you?
So, a band called Caligula's Horse from Brisbane. Not that they'll ever watch this show, but hi, guys.
Oh, that's the one you want me to come with you for June.
Yeah, because they're coming to Canberra.
Yeah,
I went and
okay.
saw them in Sydney.
And then
They
you can
had,
go see him again in like 2 months' time.
yeah, and
Play the same
last
songs.
week was like
do the same set.
the 12th time I've seen them.
Okay. All right.
And I've got 2 gigs on this weekend as well. I got one on Friday and one on Saturday, both in Sydney. So,
Oh, this weekend.
Hooray.
Yeah, I've got a wedding on this weekend,
nice.
and then I have to drive to Crookwell for footy on Sunday morning for Lockie. And for those that don't know where Crookwell is, well done, lucky you. It's like an hour and a half from Canberra, so it's gonna be a crappy Sunday morning drive out there for it. But it's also
Yeah.
Booker Ted's birthday this weekend,
yeah.
and he's not on the
doing anything.
podcast to roast him about it, which is sad.
Oh, well, we'll have to roast him on social media.
Yeah, well, we'll just do it on the next podcast. We'll surprise him with a cake. We won't surprise him with a cake.
Surprise him with a cake. in his fucking
Bang!
face.
Right in the face. Yeah. Right, what want to talk
All
about
right,
first?
yeah, let's kick it off, mate. We're recording after Raw, which is a Tuesday for us here in Australia.
Yeah.
We've just had round 2 of the draft done and dusted. Let's recap it.
Yeah, I think the way we'll do this podcast for everyone is we'll stick to WWE first because there's a lot of things in the news that many people
Gonna wanna talk about.
want to hear our opinions on the Mud Show.
Yeah.
We will leave that for a second half of the podcast.
Any AEW videos we do, they just pop off.
Everyone loves it.
They just
It's great.
pop off. All right. So I'm going to go cover all the drafts for SmackDown and then all the drafts for Raw because that's the way
Well, before you go
this
through all of
list
the
is.
picks, after watching both nights of it,
Yes.
did it suck?
It
much
does,
as yeah,
yeah.
and do you feel really
So-
flat?
I think I mentioned this before we had the draft. My hype is about seeing who's going where
Yep.
and what potential storylines we can
I
have.
agree. But what I hated about
That
this draft,
didn't really do anything for me this year.
Yeah, 'cause
I
everyone
saw a
drafted
couple
to the
ones where I was
same
like,
show.
oh, here we go. Yeah. And like that was a thing. They made a really like strong emphasis on the fact this draft is not just about getting new people, it's about securing your roster.
I know
That and the champs not being able to be drafted.
really took the life
it
out of it.
dragged it
Yep.
all the way down.
the problem that I had with this whole draft holistically is, and I think we discussed this quickly beforehand, was that all the NXT call-ups were good, but they were also all expected. They were all the people that we thought were going to get drafted. There was a
Yeah.
couple of
Couple of blind ones.
surprises, but they weren't really like big surprises, sort of things that we were not really expecting. Or
They were more like, oh, interesting.
yeah, like oh, okay, Dijak's back up, cool.
Spoilers.
Spoilers, sorry. But the ones for the between the shows, none of those major draft moves really like did anything for me. They were kind of like, oh, spoiler alert, Raw drafted Gunther again. Oh, Drew McIntyre and CM Punk are staying on Raw.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Like none of it was overly exciting, and I kind of wanted more storylines from that. But we'll go through
more
the draft
exciting.
picks first, and then we can maybe pull a
right.
couple of them apart.
So, SmackDown, number 1.
Yeah, see,
Bianca Belair.
you start with Bianca
like, this
Belair
is-
as the first pick.
Great for her. First ever African American woman
100%.
to be drafted
Yep.
in the number 1 slot in
Yep.
WWE. Fantastic. When you have the likes of, not Roman Reigns because he pulled out just before SmackDown started, but you've got like the Bloodline, you've got Randy, you've got Punk, you've got Drew, you got all these names that are up for grabs.
I know they did say that there was a pool for Friday and a
pool
pool
for
for
each
Monday,
night, yeah.
but still, like, okay.
Not off to a good start. We then had Carmelo Hayes, Randy Orton, Nia Jax, LA Knight, The Bloodline, AJ Styles, Andrade, Jade Cargill, Kevin Owens, The Pride. We're now starting to touch the Raw ones from today. Tiffany Stratton.
Oh, you're rolling through. Hang on, let's just go back to SmackDown first. We were way too far. I want to ask a question. Bianca going first is great.
So Bianca to Andrade. That's your SmackDown picks.
Okay, so what was the first round? Bianca
Bianca and Carmelo.
Yep, cool. I like the way they handled Carmelo. I like that he came out.
I think that
confronted
was
Cody. Good
the
match.
perfect way to introduce him to the main roster.
The way that everyone has talked up Jade so far, and the way that they've presented her on WWE TV, how is she not picked above Bianca?
Because she's on the different pool.
No, she's not. They were both drafted on Friday.
No. Jade was the first pick today on Raw.
Oh, was she? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well,
So
shows how much I've paid
technically,
attention
they
to how
both
it's-
got number 1 picks for SmackDown.
Is Bianca and Jade.
Each night.
Okay.
Each night, each
Sure.
pool, they are number 1 on
Okay.
SmackDown.
All right.
Does that alleviate your concern?
Not really, but sure. Close enough.
All right.
What was the second round?
So second round was Randy Orton, Nia Jax.
Cool night to Fridays is good. I think that's good.
Yeah, changes things up a bit.
Keeps her away from Rhea because we've seen that 1,000 times. That's
Yep,
probably good.
LA
idea.
Knight, Bloodline.
LA Knight, I think, should have gone to Raw.
Yep.
And I think a
I
lot of
agree.
people have said this before too, that I don't see LA as the guy to dethrone Cody and be the WWE champion.
Unless they're going to do what everyone's been wanting done and have him go against Logan Paul.
Oh, and you
the
keep
United
doing
States
Yeah,
title.
that's fine.
And then like have that as a stepping stone.
Yeah.
To see if he can run well with that title,
Then
then he
maybe.
can run well.
But I mean,
With the main
if you
championship,
draft
maybe.
him to Raw, do I see him beating Damian Priest and Jey Uso and even Drew McIntyre for the title?
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of do.
Yeah.
So
I
I
agree with
think he was a missed opportunity to move, but maybe it's a US title thing. Okay, yeah. Who else?
So the Bloodline.
Yeah, they were always staying on
Great,
Friday.
that's fine. The last 2 picks for SmackDown on Saturday was AJ Styles and Andrade.
Yeah,
So AJ stays, Andrade comes over.
I kind of wanted AJ and LA to be split,
Yeah.
but I don't.
They got one more. They've only had 2 matches. There's one more.
There's gotta be
They
the
won a piece.
tiebreaker.
They've got to have that rubber match.
I don't
happens
mind
everywhere.
the AJ staying, I guess, because it gives him the feud with Cody. I don't think this Cody match at Backlash is going to be one and done. I think they'll have a few matches in the series, which will be good. But yeah, I mean, I think I remember coming out of SmackDown that the draft was really inconsequential to me. Nothing really happened. I didn't care too much. I liked the Kevin Owens stuff with Tamatonga in terms of on the show and how they're trying to sort of put that together. And then Randy, and now they've obviously set up a match at Backlash. I liked the presentation of Carmelo, how he got up onto the...
I'm glad that they're keeping Randy and KO as a tag.
Oh, yeah. What is
great.
it? The KO RKO show?
RKO show.
Oh, I can't wait for that. It's going to be so much fun. But yeah, I was really impressed with Carmelo, the way that he was presented and that he kind of sort of stuck to his heelish character that he's had in NXT. I can't remember who it was. There was somebody was interviewed that I was watching on YouTube the other day. I can't remember. It was an NXT person that had come up and they'd said they really enjoyed it was what's his name? LA Knight. LA Knight was having a chat to the Gorilla Position podcast on YouTube, and he was saying that he was really glad with the way that NXT people have been brought up recently, in that their storyline and their characters and stuff sort of progress into the main roster.
Yeah.
Whereas when he came up with the previous administration, they were like, I don't know who this guy is. Let's make him a male model. Like there was nothing that what he did in NXT, so they just had nothing for him. And I think if we want to talk about quickly some of the releases that we've had,
Yeah.
this very specifically goes to Cameron Grimes, in that when he got to the
that's
main
rough,
roster, they didn't have anything for him because they didn't really plan his character out.
Yeah. And then nothing happened.
And because his character in NXT was quite good.
Yeah.
And he was really good down there, and then he never did anything because they never had anything planned. And I think the way that I've seen already Carmelo obviously Tiffy, Bron, etc.
Yep.
They are using the characters they have and putting them straight to the main roster. So they're going to be utilized better.
Yeah.
And it probably means we won't see unfortunate releases like, Zion Quinn, Cameron Grimes, etc.
Jinder Mahal, Indusher. Just touching on Cameron Grimes as well. He apparently got word from an executive
Yeah.
a week prior to his release that he would always have a job in WWE. And that he wouldn't be going anywhere. And then a week later, he got released.
Yeah. I think it's rough. It
Unless
really is.
it's just like different departments, man. That's
It
all I
is.
can liken it to.
Yep.
Like departments don't always communicate well at the best of times, if at all. So there's obviously some sort of miscommunication there
Well, did
on
we-
the like business.
Did we
level.
mention this on our last podcast around Xia Li? How she was
Yeah,
on
'cause
the
she
graphic
was-
for the match on Raw,
Yeah,
but
for
then
the
got
Battle Royal.
released before it had happened.
Yeah.
And I mean, look, it's WWE is a big global business. Like, there's obviously lots of people behind the scenes that do stuff. So maybe the pencil pushers and the numbers were like, we can't justify spending this much money on someone who's not being used on TV.
Yeah.
We have to get rid of them.
Exactly.
So they're gone. And then the creative people over here are like, oh no, we're going to use this Cameron Grimes guy for a thing in 3 months' time. Oh no, we're not. He's gone.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, look, it's a tough business. It sucks for all the people that were released. Like, I think I've watched Jinder's video. Trevor Lee, Cameron Grimes' one was really emotional. He was
Yeah, that was hard to watch.
he was a lot on Twitter. But Jinder put a little statement out as well that, he'll be back in 90 days and stuff. You can't hinder the Jinder. It's not the first time he's been released either. So I think he'll lean into that, being released. It's crazy to think that, day one of this year, January, he was cutting a promo on The Rock
Yeah.
in the middle of
And
Raw.
then now he's gone.
And now he's released.
Also had a World Heavyweight Championship match as well.
He did, where he injured Seth Rollins. Injured.
Moving on. Let's cover who SmackDown drafted on night 2. As we mentioned, kicked off, number 1 pick, Jade Cargill. Mm-hmm. Kevin Owens.
Yep.
Happy with him to stay.
Stays on his show, sure.
The Pride and Tiffany Stratton were in round 2.
Yep. Question on this that I'll bring up as well, because we talk about Bron when he got drafted as well. Yep. They made such a big effort towards the end of last year about who was going to sign Tiffy and Bron and Jade.
Yep.
And they made all the
got them
deals,
all.
and SmackDown got them all, and now they're just drafting them.
Yep.
What? That's dumb. Why?
Yep.
Why did Nick Aldis put so much effort into signing Tiffy if she was just going to go up in the draft?
Make it make sense.
I don't get it.
Make it make
This is why
sense.
drafts are dumb. Anyway, yes, continue.
All right. Round 3, Legado del Fantasma and Shinsuke Nakamura. First thing that popped in my mind. Yay, we get to see Cody versus Shinsuke all over again.
Oh, no, please no.
Oh,
God.
hooray.
I didn't even think of that.
Insert sarcasm if you can't tell.
I think the interesting part with Legado del Fantasma was that they were the pick after LWO went to Raw.
Yeah.
So they've split them, which I think
Good.
is good. We've seen that enough.
Yes. And it was also interesting, like, it makes sense, but everyone's like, oh, it's interesting that Carlito got drafted with them. Yeah, because before that came to light that he was, the one who turned on Ray and Dragon Lee,
Yep.
he's part of LWO. They were inserted into that draft as a group.
Yep.
That's why he came over with them. And now they can continue that storyline.
I also think that reveal was pretty horrible on SmackDown.
Yeah, it
It was
wasn't
like,
done the
we all
best.
knew it was coming.
It wasn't done the best.
And the fact that he just showed in the footage and they all kind of just stood,
And he does.
stood there.
He's like,
He's like,
oh
what?
no,
Me?
What do I do? Oh, I'm going to push him. I reckon he should just, as soon as it showed his hair,
Oh, 100%.
boom, backstabber on Dragon Lee straight away. That's how it should have gone.
Yep, absolutely.
And then scuttle out the ring and laugh. Not act all like, oh my God, no,
yeah,
what do I do?
it wasn't handled very well. But I'm glad we get heel Carlito again, because that's the
Yes.
best Carlito.
Yes. All right.
As long as he gets his old music back, because spit in the face.
Round
People
4.
want to be cool.
Naomi, Piper Niven, and Chelsea Green.
I did like the Adam Pearce thing on Raw before, where he was saying good luck with Chelsea. I'm so good. It's his favourite pick of the entire draft. As in now,
Yeah.
doesn't have to deal with Chelsea.
That's going to be good.
But the saddest part about that is
No more Samantha. Irvin.
Yeah, Samantha Irving's not going to say Chelsea Green. Or do you reckon
No.
Mike Rome's going to have a
I
crack
don't,
at
I don't even want to hear Mike Rome attempt to do that.
I reckon he'll
Don't
do
want
it.
it.
I reckon he'll do
No,
it.
thanks. All right, round 5. Pretty Deadly, Indy Hartwell, and Candice LeRae.
Yeah, so that now puts the whole way together.
Yeah, so DIY
And-
and Austin Theory are all on SmackDown.
Oh, because he was a
Austin
champion.
Theory-
Yeah, okay.
Austin
yeah,
Theory
alright.
was originally in the way.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe
Look,
we'll get-
I don't think that SmackDown drafted poorly. I just don't think
We
anything
still got
really.
one more round, mate.
Anything still. Oh,
Which
really?
was DIY and Blair Davenport.
Well, yeah, because I don't know who Blair Davenport is, so I don't really care. I don't think they drafted poorly, but I also like none of that is a standout to me.
No, not
Like
really.
Shinsuke swapping over is cool.
Andrade swapping over, Nia swapping over.
So Andrade's to SmackDown.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, cool, but
Yeah.
but none of it really like none of it's like show
None of it
stopping
gets me
great.
going.
None of it is a, oh my god, I can't believe this person has swapped shows,
Yeah.
which kind of is why this whole draft fell pretty flat.
Yeah. All right. Bonus picks for SmackDown. That were
Oh, these
covered
were the
on
social media
social
ones.
media one. Cedric Alexander at Ashanti Adonis.
Cool.
Baron Corbin back up on the main roster.
Oh, this annoys me. Why split the Wolf Dogs? I know that you want to push Braun as a single star on Raw.
Let's push Baron. Let's give him
push
another
them
chance.
both, sure.
Have him dethrone Cody. He retired Kurt Angle, for God's sake. Have him dethrone
Wasn't
Cody.
he like one of the last people to pin Roman Reigns too before he went on his? I mean, he's got all this.
He's got all
nostalgia
this
to him.
credibility. Let's do something with it.
Yeah,
OC?
I just don't know about splitting the Wolf Dogs. I would like to have seen them at least get a little bit of. Maybe they'll do it down the track. Maybe
Yeah,
they'll
maybe
come
one
back
day.
down. But
They'll have a moment in the Rumble, surely.
yeah, okay,
Next year.
that'll be fun.
OC, Giovanni Vinci drafted SmackDown. That must have come out just after Raw today because he was part of today's pool.
Vinci.
Vinci
Also, they
to
separated him from Gunther and Kaiser.
Because Gunther and Kaiser got picked as Imperium.
Raw, yeah.
Because before the show they said Vinci's
Vinci's
gone.
now out.
So he's on SmackDown now. We don't even get like any sort of like conflict resolution for that. Nothing.
Just send him away.
Just send him.
What's he gonna do on SmackDown? He's generic wrestler type A.
Yeah.
I know you love him.
Well, he's one of the other bonus picks.
He's your
Apollo
Dr. Mann.
Crews. They're both generic wrestlers. Let's put them together. Generic tag team too.
I don't even know what to say about those picks.
And also
Okay.
Tegan Knox. She's over on SmackDown now.
Is she away from Natalia?
Yes, I believe so.
Good for her. Well
Yes,
done, Tegan.
Natty was a bonus pick for Raw today.
Of
All right,
course she was.
Raw.
Yes.
Round 1, Jey Uso, Seth Rollins.
Jey Uso going first pick.
I think because Rollins is out injured for rumored 4 to 6 months because he's just gotten surgery as well.
Yep.
So he's gone for a while. Punk's somewhat okay. I think he's maybe like a month or two away from getting cleared. Mm-hmm. Drew's injured.
Yep.
Who are the other giant baby faces on Raw? Like, there's nobody. So it kind of makes sense that Jay got picked number 1.
I know,
because
and
they're gonna. That was the whole thing with Cody and Jay
Yeah.
last week on Raw. That was kind of
passing
like
of the torch.
Passing of the torch.
Yep.
Jay's going to be the big baby face on Raw moving forward, which I like Jay. I don't like Jay that much. I don't think he can handle that.
I watched Logan Paul's promo for him on Raw, essentially saying how you're never going to win anything as a solo. You're not a solo person, and I'm like, yeah, I kind of agree with Logan here. I love
rough.
Jay. I love the fact that he gets the crowd in. I love that Pat McAfee's on the table dancing all the time. Everyone
great.
loves it. He's fantastic. Is he the face of the brand? No. Does he? What also gets me with Jay, right, is some of the matches you've seen him have with Roman throughout that bloodline period and stuff with Jimmy was quite good. It feels like the last 6 months he's been super kick, splash, end of match. He doesn't do anything else.
And also throw in a spear every now and then.
Correct, but like it's such generic. He's got the hits and that's all he's doing. There's no good wrestling to it. Whereas someone like Sammy, I'll use as an example, has the haluva kick and the blue thunderbomb and stuff, but he throws in top rope suplexes and different Northern Lights suplexes and a powerbomb here and something else there. And you're not getting that from Jay. Jay seems really one-dimensional on what he is.
Like he does the rocks punches where he goes.
Yeah.
He's got Roman's spear,
Yeah.
super kick. Like,
Everyone does the super
splash. Yeah.
But like, it's all good stuff as I want to, the house show circuit pop for the babyface kind of guy. It's perfect for what he does.
It's the in between. That's the problem.
Is he the person that's going to main event Raw doing the same 5 moves all the time? Is he like John Cena? Don't know.
That's his 5 moves.
Tell me,
of doom.
sell me on it. WWE, sell me.
Yeah, don't ask me to tell you what. I'm not gonna. Round 2, Bron Breakker, Liv Morgan.
Good picks.
Yep,
I like Braun up on the main. I've already said that I wish the Wolf Dogs were together, but
Yeah, we'll get there.
Braun should tear through.
Does that mean Wolf Dog shirts are gonna be on clearance now, and we can get some?
Maybe, yeah. Free shipping after Raw too.
Round 3, Ricochet, Sheamus. Nothing huge there. I mean, it's good to lock Sheamus into Raw now that they're kind of like teasing some stuff with Drew.
Yeah, the problem is Drew's injured. He's not going to be able to do anything with
They did actually have a segment on Raw where Bron was getting interviewed and then Sheamus interrupted him and Drew walked past. So put the three of them in a match. I'm entertained.
Yeah, okay.
That'll be good. Also, we'll touch on it later, but Gunther, Ilya, and Bron
Yes, Gulia and
all
India,
Dijak in a match. Like,
And Dijak. Oh, look,
I think Raw's definitely come out on top here.
as it should. It's going to Netflix and it's the 3-hour show.
Yeah.
It should be the biggest one.
Round 4, Alpha Academy, Kiana James. So that was the end of your SmackDown picks.
Yeah, so Alpha Academy, cool. They stay there, keeps them with Sammy.
Yep.
So you still get your Chad and Sammy stuff. Who's Kiana James?
That was, yeah. I'm not going to lie, a bit of a shock.
Was that the
about
last? That was the last pick on Friday night.
Yep.
Was Kiana James, and the last pick tonight was Blair Davenport.
And you don't know
And I don't know who either of them are.
I do, because I watch NXT. But
I mean, good for them. I'm really glad. And like what I was saying to you before, I really liked the way they presented this draft.
yeah.
In that you had the war rooms, they had a board up with what picks they were taking. It did try and lean on the NFL style of things.
I liked how they cut to the Performance Center and like
That-
the whole
yes.
NXT roster was there. They had people in the crowd.
Yep.
It looked kind of like an AEW show.
We're not up to that part
Anyway,
of the podcast yet.
I just really liked how they presented that. And you could tell from some of the reactions, like we discussed just before we came on the air.
Yeah,
We don't think that they told those NXT talents they were getting called up.
I don't reckon that. I think maybe
Especially after watching Blair Davenport's reaction.
Bron and Carmelo and stuff knew. Ilya probably had a fair idea. But the surprise ones, I don't think they knew.
Yeah.
I liked the way that was presented, like the way that it looked. And the fact that the WWE specifically put it on this weekend to match the NFL draft, so that they're trying to cash in on people in draft season or whatever, that sort of stuff. Like, I think it was a smart play, and I think it was presented really well. And I did like the Hall of Famers coming out and reading the picks and stuff. I think in terms of how the production of this was, I think it was really good. I just think the talent moving
Draft
was a bit
itself
yeah,
sucked.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Round 1 for Raw, Night 2, Imperium and Damage Control.
Gunther had to be first pick. Absolutely. Perfect
Round
choice.
2, CM Punk. Braun
Damage
Strowman.
control on Raw though.
That's going to be good because it gets them away from Bailey. It gets them away from people that they've been interacting with and demolishing on SmackDown for the
Io
past
versus Becky.
few months.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
I'll take that. That'll be a good match.
Did you see the little confrontation between them?
I did.
Lining it up.
Yeah.
Asuka was playing with Becky's belt too. That was a bit.
Well, I mean, Asuka and Kairi can jump between shows anyway.
Yeah.
So,
They've got I'm sure they'll take Dakota and Io with them.
oh, of course they will until they drop the titles. They're dropping them a Backlash, aren't they? Surely. Like, you're not going to have
Come
Jade
on.
and Bianca not win that match.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which then means
Yeah,
the
for sure,
two number
definitely.
one picks for SmackDown will show up on Raw whenever they feel like it.
Yep.
Well done.
Sounds good.
Good work, Nick Aldis.
Yeah. Round 2, Punk and Strowman.
Punk, great pick, obviously. I love the story that they're trying to tell that Punk got picked before Drew.
Yeah.
That was great.
It just feeds
makes sense.
the fire. It just stokes the fire for that feud.
Braun, look, I liked seeing him.
He got Def Rebelled, man.
He got Def Rebelled. Oh,
it's that simple. He
so
got Def Rebelled.
bad. And like what I got with it was actually I watched Santi did a video. Santi's app on YouTube. Everyone should follow him because he's way better at all this YouTube and wrestling stuff than we are. He did a video on like all of the entrances and the entrance music, and he shit on a lot of the Def Rebel stuff that's pretty terrible. But he said that like he had Braun was like an A because it's just so as soon as you hear that raw, you know it's Braun. And then they Def Rebelled it.
Yeah.
I'm so sad.
I'm happy to see him back, but like
I'm not sure I wanted to see him back because if they are going to make him part of that Wyatt 5,
I don't know if they will.
well, I don't think he will now because he's coming back separately.
Maybe he'll feud with them.
And then
some
they'll
point.
turn him and he becomes the 6th.
There we go.
Maybe.
He's that last soul that needs saving.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm glad he's back. He's on the same show as Ricochet again, so they can do Team Big Small or whatever they did beforehand because I actually really enjoyed that.
Was it actually called Big Small?
I think, no, the Team Little Big was him and Alexa Bliss when they
Yeah.
did the mixed tag thing. And I
Bring
reckon
that back.
him and Ricochet was pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
So I quite like it. I look, I like Braun. I think he's a big monster heel. It'd be very interesting to see him slap a man meat against someone like Bronson Reed down the track. That'd be a fun match.
Yeah, lock it in. Round 3, LWO and Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, so like we said before, splitting LWO and Phantasma.
Yep,
Cool.
good.
And Drew
Drew.
behind Punk. Perfect.
Yep. Round 4, Judgment Day and Ilya Dragunov.
Judgment Day falling this late. It's kind of the same story it's exactly the same story they're telling us the Bloodline getting drafted in the 3rd round.
Yep.
That, without your leaders, I guess, in terms of
Things
Roman
gotta fall
and Rhea,
apart.
you're just not as important as we thought you were. So I think that's cool. And Ilya, can't wait. Do you want him
No.
feuding with Gunther
For a
or
little
in
bit, yes.
Imperium
For a little bit, yes. And then,
and then turn him?
yeah. Gunther's already come out and said it'd be good to have him in Imperium, but they're better enemies.
Or-
and their matches they're so good.
Is the opposite what they do? Do you bring Ilya up and he looks up to his former I can't think of the word, to someone that he's against, villain, whatever person he fights against all the time.
Yep.
Um,
Fucking nailed it.
oh, it's a long day at work. But do they put him in Imperium and then he eventually breaks away at Bash in Berlin and then you do Gunther versus Ilya in Berlin?
Oh, that'd be good.
Because unless you're strapping up Gunther and giving him the world title, the only other match I think that everybody in the world would want to see at Bash in Berlin would be Gunther Ilya.
Yeah.
So I think maybe that's the play. If you want to, if Drew is fit enough and back in time for him and Punk and Damien to feud over the title, you give Gunther, you get Ilya into Imperium, and then you take him out in 4 months.
Yeah. Sounds good. Lock it in. Let's book it.
Booker Ted, over to you.
Right. Round 5. New Day and another NXT call-up. Lyra Valkyria.
Yeah, cool.
Good. I'm happy for her. She
I'm
beat
glad-
Becky for the NXT Championship.
Yep. I think she'll be good on the main roster. They need a bit of depth without Rhea there because I think we all noticed
I
that.
think that's why they call up so many women as well.
Well, you looked at that Battle Royal last week to replace Rhea, and I mean we'll touch on it a bit later on with some of the news that Becky ended up winning. But you saw everyone standing in that ring, and you're like,
it's between these
it's Liv,
three.
Becky, or Nia because the rest of them.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably a good idea why you bring her up and stuff to give a bit more maybe credible challenges towards the top of the card. And I also like the fact that New Day stay there because we need to make sure we establish tag team divisions. Now we split the belts. Both shows need tag teams. And I'm really glad one thing they didn't do in this draft, apart from the Wolf Dogs, is split up a tag team.
Yeah.
Because they've done that on drafts before where Devon goes to one show and Bubba Ray stays on the other. And you're like, why? Why would
20
you do
years ago.
that?
It wasn't a good idea then. It's not
It's
a good
not a
idea.
good idea
now.
now. So I'm glad they didn't do that.
Speaking of tag teams,
Oh, yes.
round 6.
Yep.
Final Testament and Bronson Reed.
I
Are you happy that Final Testament are staying on the main roster?
Not particularly. Do I think that giving them some time in Raw where there's 3 hours of a show instead of 2 hours on SmackDown? Maybe.
That segment that we got on SmackDown, where I don't even remember who it was, but they were just beating the shit out of someone. That's
So I don't even recall. I recall a backstage segment of Karrion Kross saying that we're coming to get everybody or something.
maybe it was on the Raw the week before.
I legit.
But like, Paul Ellering was standing there with like a wrench, and there was some guy on the floor like getting the shit beat out of him. That's how they need to be presented moving forward. Like they need to be attacking people and in stoking fear
To
in
be
the
fair,
roster.
I don't care about Karrion Kross. Like at all. But like, I want this to be the push for the Authors of Pain. This is a push for AOP, and you get AOP cracking some skulls and going for the tag teams and being big dominant tag team. I'm all for that. I don't want the focus on Karrion because I just unless they can find a good story for him somewhere, I just don't care about him. And I don't think shifting him to Raw makes a difference. Who was the other pick?
Bronson Reed, Australian.
Oh yeah, Bronson Reed's fine. Yeah, great. Keep him Raw. Keep him.
Looks
smashing
like they're
Sami
gonna.
Zayn. That was great.
Yeah, looks like they're gonna be doing a triple threat angle.
I did see that. Yeah, that's him, Gable, and Bronson, Gable, Sammy. I guess that's another way for Sammy to pin Bronson so that Gable doesn't lose but doesn't win.
Yeah.
And keeps his heel persona going. See the news that Kurt Angle said he'd be happy to come back and
Don't tempt me. Man.
he said it.
I know he
Kurt said
but,
it.
Like,
Could you imagine Kurt Angle coming back as like coaching
Team
Gable?
Gable featuring
Oh,
Kurt Angle.
Oh, Oh, sign me up.
Oh, sounds great. All right, bonus picks.
Yeah, the boy Dijak. This is a good one.
Getting there.
Oh, I thought he was the first one because he's the only one I saw on Twitter was
Double
Dijak.
Fire and Isla Dawn to Raw. Ivar.
Didn't they have a thing with bloody Aldous like 3 weeks ago where they were trying to talk to him about the tag team titles and let us do something and they were on SmackDown?
Yeah.
Sure. And
Well,
then they get drafted
Nick didn't
to
do
Raw.
anything to him, so AP took him up, and he's going to give him a
Fair
title
enough.
match.
With his
Surely.
Crappy red suit. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Ivar?
Oh, Ivar's on Raw?
Yep.
So he's not going to NXT. Did anyone get drafted to NXT?
This is one thing I realized today. The way that they talked about it in the lead up, I assumed NXT would be picking people.
Yeah, I thought bloody what's her face? Rock
Unless
was
they're
gonna
going
be
to
there
like
doing
do something this week or next week or something. I thought it was going to be an exchange of talent between all three brands,
Yeah.
not just focus on Raw and SmackDown like
and
usual.
you pitch who you want and you just pick them up and you take them onto the main roster
Yeah.
and then sorry NXT.
Yeah,
It's all Trick Williams now. That's all you got.
Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark,
On Raw. Yeah,
who
fine.
drafted separately, not as a tag team. Very interesting.
Wasted 2 picks. There should have just been a tag team.
Diamond Mine, Creed Brothers, and Ivy Nile
Yeah, it's just
staying on
to
Raw.
stay with
New
Chad.
Catch Republic.
Yeah.
New Catch Republic to Raw.
That's who AAP beat up.
Oh yeah, that's
It was
right.
New Catch Republic. See, I did remember watching SmackDown.
Oh,
There you
okay,
go.
so you can continue that feud for a little bit.
Well, for one more week. Oh, no, wait, they came across with it.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I don't care.
There we have it. Yes, Dijak. Pumped for this.
Dijak will be fun. Dijak will be
It's
very
time
fun
for the
again.
Dijak hijack.
Ooh, you can't hinder the ginger and you can't hijack the Dijak. All right. Start printing some t-shirts. Money!
They already did.
Did they?
HBK gave him that shirt when they did the whole WWE digital exclusive thing. Like gave
I
him a
just-
red shirt that said Dijak hijack on it.
I just saw his name on Twitter and I was like, sick.
I watched his little video because I love Dijak. He's a great big man. He's got incredible agility. I can't wait for some of the matches on the main roster.
Yeah, look, I think
Who they're going to pit him against and how he's going to go.
throw him in there with Braun Breaker, Sheamus, Drew McIntyre. Make it a 4-way. Do you imagine how much slapping man meat that match would have?
So good.
And they'd all be brawling each other stupid, and then Dijak could just do some funny top rope moonsault.
All right, we got three more.
Three more
Kaden Carter and Katana Chance.
I don't care about the party girls.
Natalia.
Don't care about Natalia.
Your mate, Odyssey Jones.
Did he get drafted?
Drafted to Raw
Did he
again.
really? Yes.
Just like last year.
Is he? No, wasn't it?
This is going to be a running joke for the next 2
Oh,
years.
100%. Odyssey Jones is a tax write-off for Triple H.
Yeah.
Like, there is no such person. He's nowhere around. It's just a tax write-off to say that we're paying this person X amount of money, and it's just going into an offshore Cayman account for him.
Ridiculous. All right, that's it. That's all
Okay.
the draft picks.
Overall, flat, I think.
Yeah.
There's some opportunities there. I'm interested. I think I was saying this to Lockie when I picked him up because he was asking sort of what had happened when he was away. This segment of the year for WWE is always like a reset.
Noticed
It's the end of a new era and all that sort of stuff, but like nothing's happening right now. Backlash, nothing's going to happen because it's Backlash. We don't care. So
Except the women's titles changed.
yeah,
again,
but
the
that should
tag
happen
titles.
ages ago. They're just going to start building now to the stories that they're going to place around Money in the Bank, and then what they're going to do in
SummerSlam.
Bash in Berlin, and then SummerSlam, and then it's going to start kicking off towards Survivor Series, and then we get Royal Rumble and WrestleMania again. This is that lull of we need to reset everything up. So this couple of weeks of TV is kind of boring, but we're just getting all the places
Confirm. It's
where they
kinda
need to
boring.
be, and then we go.
Just got to reset the chessboard.
Yes,
All right. You did touch on Becky Lynch successfully winning the Women's Battle Royal to get the World Heavyweight Women's Championship.
yes.
Have you seen the news circling around online with Becky Lynch, with the fan base essentially calling her the women's Hulk Hogan? Thoughts?
Fans that think that are idiots.
Yep. Agreed.
My main problem with this was the finish of the match where Liv went over the top rope and Becky walked out through the middle rope, and then they stood on the apron and pretended like we didn't know who was going to win. Did you not catch on to that?
It was stupid.
Becky went through the middle rope. She was never losing. It was dumb.
Oh, I didn't notice that part, but it was just
As
like...
soon as I saw Becky go out through the middle, I was like, oh, Becky wins.
I thought it was a bit odd that Liv went for the Oblivion, and I was just like,
Yes.
that's not a move you want to hit on the apron, because
Yeah.
then you're going to...
You're going to fall off.
Yeah.
I think that this is the right decision. I think the last podcast we were talking, we wanted Liv to win it. But in hindsight and looking back at it now, Liv needs to win it as a heel off of somebody. Her winning it in a battle royal is not the same story.
Let me cook for a second. I had an idea today.
Oh, please.
I don't know if it was an idea I stole because I watch so much social media.
Start cooking, Reece.
But here it is. Liv falls short again against Becky whenever they fight next because she's the next number 1 contender.
Oh, was that what the match on Raw was?
Essentially, yeah.
Okay.
I assume they'll book it in for Backlash, but probably not.
Nah, I don't think they'll do Backlash. They'll do something else.
So, Liv falls short again.
Uh-huh.
And then again down the track. Mm-hmm. She gets a third opportunity at Becky. Rhea comes back. Falls short again. Liv then goes on a terrible losing streak.
Are you fucking pitching her to be the next Baron Corbin?
No. Let's not say terrible losing streak.
Sad
but
Liv. Oh.
she will not win the title this year. She will, however, win the Royal Rumble next year. And then, by the time WrestleMania rolls around, Rhea Ripley will be champion again. And then Liv dethrones Rhea at WrestleMania 41. Finally completing that story full circle. Unless you want to do it soon.
I think I want to do it opposite. I want to flip it. So I want Liv to beat Becky because I think Becky was on holidays. Becky was not showing up for Raw. I think she did the European tour because it was Europe and that's where her family is. So she could go over and see her family. And then she wasn't coming back. Seth's off injured, having surgery. They were going to sit on the couch for like 2 or 3 months, chill out, be a family, and then come back at SummerSlam or whatever down the track when they needed them. Rhea got hurt, and Triple H went, shit. Becky, can you come back to work? And she was like, yep, no worries. Because she's a company girl. All the talk of her and Seth not being re-signed, I don't care. They're absolutely re-signing with WWE. They're not going anywhere.
Touching on that, I think it was last week there were rumors going around that Tony Khan might be throwing them money to try and lure them over.
Sure.
Apparently, take it with a grain of salt.
There's no way.
The article I read was he was going to offer them $10 million each. And I was like, even with that much money, they would not say yes.
Yeah, Becky,
Not a chance.
Becky and Seth aren't leaving. They're not leaving. So I think she came back to do this, but I think she maybe had a stipulation in there that, hey, I'm not back permanently now. I still want my holiday.
Yeah.
But she can be that transitional champion because she's the man. Like if she wins the title, which she's won it, and then she drops it in 4 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever, no one cares because it's Becky Lynch. But if it's Liv Morgan that wins it and loses it in 4 weeks, then we're like, well, Liv just is not a good champion. She can't retain it. That's why this had to happen this way around. I then want to see Liv have it, and then we've discussed the fact with her and Dom talking a little bit backstage. They're
running with
in.
it. They're running.
I want Liv to get Dom, and I want Liv to get Judgment Day, and I want Liv to be the champion when Rhea comes back. And then maybe she beats Rhea the first time, and then Rhea has to win the Rumble and get back to Liv as the champion.
Okay. Both good stories, I think.
Oh yeah, I think that's your women's story for that title.
Yeah, definitely.
The other one will be Tiffy Time winning Money in the Bank and cashing in on Jade Cargill.
You reckon Jade's going to get the title soon?
Oh, I don't know. I'd like to see
Big
her.
call, mate. Big call.
But I think her and Bianca are going to get the tag titles and they can just be dominant as hell for ages.
But yeah, Becky being likened to Hulk Hogan, like, come on. I mentioned the Dan a few days ago. Becky has not held a main roster.
I was going
A main roster.
correct yourself there.
Title
Main roster.
in over 2 years.
I think she even said it on her promo.
Yeah, she said it on Raw today. Like,
Yeah.
how is that Hulk Hogan like at all?
And all she's ever done is elevate other people.
Exactly.
The
She went
feud
down to NXT to elevate people.
Yep.
She
And she
elevated
did.
Tiffy. She's now on the main roster. Elevated Lyra Valkyria,
Yep.
who is now on the main roster as well.
And realistically, she gave Trish Stratus, who is a Hall of Famer, her best run ever in the ring.
Without a doubt.
You can't be mad at Becky for this.
You can't. It's
I think all
Stupid
respect
claims.
has to go to Becky
Stupid
because, like I said, if this didn't happen, she's on a beach in Bali for 3 months and she's decided to I'll come back and I'll do what you need. WWE, you need me, I'll do it.
Scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
Oh, sure. I mean, I don't think Seth would like it, but I'd still scratch her back anyway.
You mentioned that Liv and Dom story. Speaking of Dom,
Yes.
his injury.
Not his glorious moustache, which
I mean,
is only toppled by our teddy boy.
Is it okay?
Yeah, it's all right.
It's all right.
It's all right.
It's very
Dom's is fantastic.
yeah. It's disgusting
With the mullet too. Oh, it's so good.
Dirty Sanchez.
But yes, he's
Tommy
injured.
John injury, which Dave Meltzer initially reported he would be having surgery, and surgery on that type of injury would mean he's out for 9 months. But Dom has confirmed no surgery for him.
Yeah, so the thing with the Tommy John injury is it generally only happens in baseball players, pitchers, because it's the repetitive elbow injury, right? And why it's so long is because generally, like, pitchers need the full strength and motion in their elbow because that's all they do. It's just, sorry, the microphone. It's just throw it constantly, right? That's all they do, so it's just the same joint. Whereas that's not all Dom's doing in a match. He's lifting, he's moving, so he doesn't have that same reliance on it. So it could be 3, 4, 5 months, and his elbow is back to strong enough for him to wrestle with.
Yeah.
He couldn't pitch a fastball, but he could suplex Dragon Lee. So
definitely.
it might be comparing it to the baseball injury, although it's the same injury, it's very different.
Yeah,
recoveries.
different sports, different recovery time frames. So
Yeah.
hopefully he's not out too long. But at least he's still on TV. Like they can keep him doing guest spots at ringside
I think
and the backstage
keeping
promos
him in his live story now that they've got Ray.
Everyone's invested in that now as well.
Oh yeah, and Ray being on there like on Raw now with him as well. Like there's just going to be enough little scenes that'll keep him interesting.
Yeah. Another person with an elbow injury, Drew McIntyre. How long have we heard anything on how long he's expected to be
it's
out
just
yet?
fractured elbow, but he wrestled the week after with it
Okay.
because he.
So he might just tough it out.
Well,
do what Seth
said he
Rollins
did it
couldn't
at
do.
WrestleMania, and then he wrestled that number 1 contenders match the week after. Remember?
And he was also on the UK tour as well.
Yes, but I think he just worked through it because it was UK.
But like the same with Dom. You can keep him on TV. He can do promos. He can do backstage stuff. Like
As long as the
problem.
promos and the backstage stuff is as good as it is right now between Drew and CM Punk,
that segment was fantastic.
that was fantastic. As long as they can keep that hype up, we're going to be chomping at the bit for this match in 4 or 5 months' time, whenever it happens. But if there's a lull and it drops off and they go away, because the Jimmy and Jay, the example I'll give, Jimmy and Jay Uso. Last year, when they were breaking up from the Bloodline, I was keen. I think a lot of people were keen, like, yeah, let's watch a Jimmy versus Jay match. And then they're like, oh, we're going to send Jay to Raw, keep him away from Jimmy for a little bit. They'll just come back together in 6 months and everyone will love it. No, we didn't.
No.
It was trash. So
Jay's even come out and said that he was disappointed. Apparently they got their
they
time,
got
cut. So
yeah.
that's
But
why it was just...
that'd be the only worry with the Drew injury is if it means that they have to stall it for too long and we stop caring.
Yeah. I think, like, hopefully they're both okay by at least SummerSlam. I feel like that's a good build-up.
Because I reckon they were going to do a Sheamus Drew match before he got injured. Or before he, like, couldn't work with the injury.
Yeah, after what happened last week, definitely.
Burger after burger after burger.
Mate, I'd love to eat
How was
burger
they
after
led?
burger after burger.
He just went straight into it. Oh, so good. Love Sheamus.
Now,
More injuries?
One more talk about injury. MJF.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to do PT.
Yep. Trying to rehab it.
What does PT stand for? I'm mind blanking.
Personal trainer.
Personal trainer.
I don't think that's what it is.
No. He's trying to rehab it without having surgery, but
Yeah.
it's not working, essentially. That's
And he
what we're trying
he
to
had
get
to
at.
have surgery.
Yeah, so he's officially booking in for surgery. He's been spotted with his arm in a sling at some appearances as well.
okay.
So
I didn't know that part.
looks like it's going to be a while longer still before we see the return of MJF.
And this is again one
On
of those
either
things
company.
where the lack of story has made it die because the whole devil stuff with the
And like that's the thing.
Undisputed Kingdom.
Like, if Max doesn't come back until January next year, is there really much of a point continuing
that storyline.
that Kingdom storyline? And like, is anyone really going to care about the payoff at that stage?
Oh, between him and Adam Cole, yes. Between the rest of it, probably not.
Yeah. I just want to see him in WWE.
Oh,
Don't worry about
just
going back and wrapping that up, man.
bring him in next year's Royal Rumble.
Just come over.
Entrant number 30, MJF.
Yeah. Oh, big news in the TKO shares world.
Oh, yeah.
Vince
I know this.
McMahon.
Oh, he who shall not be named.
Whoops. And Nick Khan. They have been selling their shares
Listed
of TKO.
all their stocks.
Yeah. Thoughts? I've heard a couple of rumors about what's happening.
What are your rumors? Because I haven't really. I've heard that they were putting them all up for sale.
I don't know about the Nick Khan side of it. I think I read an article about him that they suspect that he might be linked to some stuff with Vince.
Oh, he's a bit deeper than he should have been.
Potentially. Don't quote me on that.
I'm not going to.
Vince, though, I've heard rumors that he's selling his shares to build up money to start another wrestling promotion.
No, I think I heard that was refuted.
Oh, was? Oh, thank God.
Well, there was talk about him wanting to do it,
That would have been terrible.
but they said that there weren't enough wrestlers that would go with it, and I don't think any of the TV stations would go with him.
Not after what's happened.
He is trying to sell all his stuff to do another startup, not necessarily wrestling, but he might do something else.
Just another business.
Yeah, he might buy another NFL team or something. I don't know, like how he tried to create the XFL or whatever. So I think that's what.
Well, Rock owns the UFL.
Yep.
Slide him in the back door.
Rock's TKO and
Wrong-
Broad, and we don't
wrong
do that.
terminology.
Back
That was
doors.
terrible.
Not great.
In some good news, Logan Paul and his
Oh,
fiancée,
this was fun. Yeah.
Nina Agdal.
Yep. Glad you said not me.
I hope I said that right. They had a gender reveal wrestling match.
This was pretty funny.
I didn't watch the whole video, but I did see a gender reveal wrestling match doing the rounds on social media a few weeks back.
Yeah.
And it was, as a wrestling fan, I think it's a fantastic idea.
I think gender reveals are dumb, but that's just me.
Well, yes, but a
you
wrestling
gonna-
match
if you-
is like, that's
Are
entertaining.
you going to have one? Are you going to have kids?
Well, maybe. I'll run it past Annie first.
Oh my God, please don't. Do you know what, gender
I'll
reveal
talk to
party should
Luke.
be?
I'll talk to Luke and I'll have a slam match where one person wears pink, one wears blue, and then
And then the winner is the... Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The gender
And it
reveal
can just be
party you
part
should
of-
have.
part of
do
the
you know
slam
what-
show.
Do you know what it should be?
What?
You walk into the doctor's office and you say it's a boy or a girl, and they tell you, and you walk outside to everyone and you go, it's a girl. And that's it. That's your gender reveal party. Otherwise, they're dumb. They're
I've
so
never been
stupid.
huge on gender reveal parties. It's not.
It's just another excuse to have a party and people buy
Especially,
you
like,
gifts.
people spend so much money
Yeah,
doing it.
absolutely.
It's just so stupid.
Yes.
And like, as an Australian, the thing that bugs me the most is when people put the colour on the tyres and then do burnouts.
Oh,
and the
yeah,
smoke.
that's terrible.
Like, that is just top tier cringe.
The only funny ones are
Top tier
the
cringe.
clips you see online where they've got like the rockets where they shoot the confetti
and
out
they
the top,
shoot it into their groin.
and they do it upside down, bang, and that's the best. That's the only time it's funny. I'll accept it.
But yes, congratulations to Logan Paul and
he's having a
Nina.
girl.
They're having a girl.
That's pretty cool.
She's great. All right. Some yet to be officially televised news. Ricochet has been crowned our inaugural
Spoiler alert.
spoilers. Crowned our inaugural speed champion.
I mean, I think if you had have said this to me at the start of we're doing a thing for 3-minute matches on Twitter, I'd be like, Ricochet's the champion, right? Because, like, this is exactly what Ricochet does.
That's our 3-minute man right there.
He's perfect for it.
Yeah.
Like, he can do
Suits him.
all of the moves in the world. He can jump, he can flip, he can look like on Twitter when people have no attention span to things and you're looking at
Oh,
TikToks
mate.
and-
I watched the first round. Like the
Ooh,
first
that's interesting.
rounds.
Oh, look at him doing a flip. Oh, I'm going to watch this. Done. That's Ricochet. That's
Yeah,
exactly what
but
he's doing.
like I watched the first couple of rounds, but I haven't watched anything since.
I've watched like 1 or 2 matches.
It's just like even it's a platform that I don't use much. So I'm not on there, so I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
think. Oh, I'm gonna go watch WWE Speed this week. Woohoo! That's not me, man. That's not me.
It's not you.
I don't focus too much time on
You like
creating content.
You
for
like some
folks.
longevity in your wrestling, don't you?
Yeah, long-term storytelling.
35-minute matches with Danielson and Ospreay.
All right, it wraps up our WWE segment of the show. Let's talk about some indies and some mud shows, shall we?
Yeah, let's shout.
Big news on the indie circuit. Nick Nemeth has been crowned the
Yeah.
AAA Mega Champion after
did see this.
defeating Alberto El Patron.
Formerly Del Rio.
Yes.
And he looked bad. Did you see the clips?
Oh,
He looked slow.
I've seen clips of Del Rio for weeks, and I just don't pay attention to him.
I only think he was in the match because he has a name behind him.
Yep.
For someone
Someone credible
Nemeth to
for
beat.
Nick to beat.
Yeah,
Definitely.
because it was like you said, it was Del Vikingo that had to give it up for injury.
Yes.
So it was vacated.
33-day reign from
That's huge.
Vikingo.
That's a very
massive.
very long title reign. That's going up towards Roman Reigns territory.
Yeah. Couldn't crack that 1,000 days though.
What would you call? He's not the tribal chief. What would you call him?
Don't look at me.
I don't know. Put it in the comments what you call Del Vikingo for his 833
Mexican Odin.
Mexican Odin.
I don't know, like
Not Norwegian. What are you doing?
Viking. Duh. That's the theme of it.
Yeah, okay.
That's
But
what I was
he's
going
definitely
with.
not
But
a
Mexican,
Viking.
but Mexican and Vikings.
Yeah, no, okay, all right.
If you watch, come up with something funny, put it in the comments.
give-
TikTok, YouTube, whatever. Let's go.
But no, cool.
Yeah. Good. It's good for Nick. He's now got that
Ziggler's
and the
been what-
IWGP Global Championship too. So
Correct.
He's doing the rounds on the indie circuits, lots of promotions, getting some wins up.
Well, and like less than a year that he's been released, that he's already got these 2 major titles. And I think the other one to talk about in that is Mustafa Ali.
Yeah, he's doing wonders with the X Division Championship.
He's undefeated
TNA.
too.
Yep.
So, and I think he was meant to go into, there was a tournament or something in Japan, maybe it was the IWGP tournament, and he was going to do it, but he said that I have to be undefeated, and they said, well, no, you're not going to win it. And he goes, well, sorry, I'm not going to enter.
Mate.
Commitment to sticking to the gimmick. He's going
He's
undefeated.
doing great. He might as well stick to it.
Yep.
Last piece of news before we get to AEW that I didn't write down and didn't tell you.
Oh, surprise news.
We have a new New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Champion. Zack Sabre Jr. has
Oh, nice.
regained the championship
Title
after,
for TMDK.
after defeating Matt Riddle. My question to you is, have you heard about what happened?
Hang on. Wasn't the other dude from AEW the strong champion?
That's Ring of
Shibata?
Honor. That's Ring of Honor Pure Strong Champion.
I thought it was the same title.
No.
It's a different title?
New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong.
I thought that was the same.
And then
because that
Ring
wasn't
of
one of the
Honor
ones.
Pure Strong.
That's really confusing because I thought that was the one that Eddie Kingston had, but you're telling me Eddie Kingston had the ROH strong title,
Yes.
not the New Japan strong title.
Correct.
But they're both the same stipulation for its matches,
Yeah, I guess.
but two different.
But the belts look different. Remember the rectangle gold belt
Yep,
with the
that-
orange strap?
yep.
You got it? Yeah. So, have you heard about what happened at the end of that match?
No, I've not heard of anything that happened with Matt Riddle.
What happened? Matt Riddle
Got stoned and fell over the ring.
no-sold the finish.
Really?
So, Zack Sabre Jr., I think he pinned him, wins the match, gets the title. Mm-hmm. Matt Riddle stands up straight away, starts like hollering around, dancing, gets out of the ring, starts talking to fans, taking photos and shit. What is wrong with that guy? Like, I know some people in WWE might vouch for him, but like,
I think one of them.
if he's
Randy
willing
Orton,
to
and that's
just,
about it.
yeah, if he's willing to do that on the indie circuit, like, who knows what he was doing in WWE behind the scenes? Like,
Yeah. And I mean, look, we'll
like,
move on to somebody else in AEW that likes to keep kayfabe alive. But I don't see why Riddle can't just sell it. Like that's really bad.
especially
I didn't know
being
how
Zack
to-
Sabre Jr. Like,
Yeah, that's really bad.
not a fan of it.
I guess it means that Riddle
thumbs
stays
down.
stays on the indies and just gets the
Yeah, I
shots
don't
and-
think he's going to come back anytime soon.
or he's not going to get to AEW either.
No.
All right, we can talk MUDSHOW. I mean AEW. We can talk
Yeah,
AEW now.
sorry. We're going to talk AEW.
Okay. What's the first thing you want to talk about? We want to talk about the good things and leave the other stuff to the back, or
Yeah, let's talk about good things first. We'll start with a rumored new signing that AEW have on their mists.
sure. Yep.
Camille, former NWA Women's Champion, has been rumored to have been signed by AEW back in February and is still yet to debut. So, interesting turn of events there, I think.
They're probably going to do as well for her debut as they've done for Sasha Banks as well. They debuted.
It's
her
not
and
even
did
going to do
nothing.
half that well. No offense to Camille. Like, I like Camille. I think there's some good stock in her in WWE if she got brought in. But I did kind of think to myself today after I read that, I was like, well, if that's the case, Camille and Jade, they're kind of like that same level. Big, strong, built women.
She does look like that. Yes. Yeah.
Is that maybe why WWE passed on Camille, perhaps?
already
Because they've
have
got
one.
Bianca, they've got Jade.
Yeah. Maybe.
What are your
Well,
thoughts?
also your other point too that you said in NXT, there's a bunch of women down there that
Yeah.
they've already invested in.
I have a massive roster down there. I like those call-ups. That's not even going to put a massive dent in that NXT roster at all.
Not at all. Could we do out a funny thing from AEW?
Yeah, go for it.
Apart from Tony Khan getting pile drived, Darby Allin got hit by a bus. That's funny. Like horrible. I hope you get better, Darby. Like, I
Trained
really do.
across the street with a broken ankle. Now he's got a broken face.
That was this like
You've seen the photos coming.
I
out,
have
right?
seen
Oh,
the photos.
poor guy.
We have said for a while on this podcast that Darby Allin is going to kill himself before like anything happens like to him, because he's so crazy with some of the bumps and stuff that he takes. And the fact that he was going to climb Mount Everest, which is an incredibly risky thing to do for literally anybody, that's crazy. And then now, he's had a broken ankle and he got hit by a bus. Then he can't take a trip.
I think from what I read, he got hit by the bus, got medical attention, then went to see the play that he was going across the street for. Anyway,
he's crazy.
The dedication from that kid is ridiculous.
All right, do we want to quickly touch on?
We've got 3 things left on my list.
What are your 3 things? Let's do yours.
Kenny and
let's talk that. Let's talk
Kenny Omega.
Watch his Twitch stream. He's great.
Yes, for one. Massive praise to the tribal chief, Roman Reigns.
Yeah, so
someone was slandering Roman Reigns in Kenny's chat, and he said, "Nah, we're not having that."
I don't think Ted said this last week when he was talking around the stuff around Ogawa and Marigold, that Kenny isn't one to be controversial, but he's also so good on this Twitch stream that he just talks, because it's just Kenny Omega. He's just talking on his Twitch stream to everybody. He's not in character. He's not kayfabe. He even said that he shouldn't have been an EVP because he was a pretty terrible one when he was there. Like all this stuff.
The self-awareness is great.
Oh, absolutely. But for someone to come in and crack on Roman, and he was like, "No, that's exactly what I want it to be, because it's the way that you want to be either cheered or booed. So you either cheer for you or you boo against the person your opponent is." And that's the reaction that any wrestler wants. And that's what Roman had for 1,200 days. You either cheered him or you booed him, but you were definitely reacting to everything he did, which is the same thing that Kenny sort of had when he was in New Japan, was that
he was that real,
you reacted to his matches because you really wanted to see him, and you wanted to either see him win it or you wanted to see him beaten. And everyone cared, and that's what a wrestler wants, and he has to give full respect to Roman for the way his character was.
Yeah, absolutely. He tends to praise WWE and their product a lot. He's more so
he's logical. He's not a tribalistic idiot.
Yeah. He loves wrestling, man. Whatever product, he loves it.
Agree.
I still hope to see him in WWE one day.
I'd love to see it.
Even if it's just a small, maybe 2-year run, whatever. Just Kenny Omega versus Seth freaking Rollins.
I would accept a 4-month contract.
Just have banger after banger.
Just get him in for a Royal Rumble, for a surprise entrance.
And that leads
and then do a program with Seth or someone, probably Seth would be who I'd like to see, for WrestleMania, and then they shake their hands and away he goes again. That's all I want to say.
That'd be great.
Fantastic.
Love it.
What else have we got?
Dazen.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, forgot about this, didn't you?
Kind of, because so did AEW.
Dazen, global streaming platform. They initially signed AEW to a 3-year contract with a stipulation that if they weren't happy with the product and the numbers and the business, they had the option to terminate after 12 months, and they have executed that option.
Yep.
Which is a big hit for AEW and their streaming capability.
The second, because Dazen is what we used in Australia for pay-per-view buys as well, because you could stream them through that, which is what we did a while ago. But there was also, I think there was one in South America that also dropped AEW. So there's 2 different places that have dropped it. And I think I did see something from one of the people that worked at Dazen come out and said that they didn't understand it, because they did say that it's not AEW's fault. AEW was super helpful every time they reached out to try and get content or interviews or anything like that. But they were only given 5% of the budget that boxing was given on that platform.
Yeah.
So they were never the focus. But obviously it also meant that they just never picked up the crowd they were expecting to pick up. So it's a worry for Tony Khan, losing streaming services and stuff while you're still trying to rebid your TV deal.
Yeah.
Bit of a worry. Let's talk about some positives before we go on to shitting on Tony Khan.
We'll save that for last.
Which is my favourite part of this podcast for sure. Can't wait. Dynasty was really good.
Yes.
We said this.
I still haven't watched any of it. I tried to go back and watch that link that got sent in the chat of Will Ospreay versus Danielson.
The very legitimate link from the very legitimate sources we were watching the match on, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's on YouTube.
Shut up.
No, the video got taken down, so I couldn't watch it.
Oh, did it? Oh, it's gone. Look, I've watched most of the highlights for all of the matches. I did watch that full Ospreay and Danielson match. This is what we said before when we did our preview last week. There's that AEW just needs to shut up and wrestle. And when they did, it was really good. Like, really good. Uncle Dave, our friend Uncle Dave Meltzer, gave all of his ratings for Dynasty, which was fantastic. He even rated all the pre-show matches, which was cool. The main card, though, the one I haven't watched the full match for, that I want to try and find because I still haven't gotten my copy of AEW yet, was a Carter and Pack.
Yeah. I heard really good things about
4
that.
and 3/4 stars. Really, really good match.
Yeah.
That is definitely one to people to look out for. House of Black beating Edge, Kingston, and Briscoe. We've got 4 1/4 stars. So Meltzer loves his AEW, that's for sure. Willow beat Julia Hart 2 stars, but also we are pretty sure that Julia Hart was actually injured. Realistically, this whole thing was just a storyline for Willow to get the title so Mercedes could eventually wrestle her that no one cares about now.
I've heard an interesting theory about what's going to go on there as well.
What's that?
Apparently, someone thinks it might have been Chris Statlander that attacked Julia Hart and Willow.
Yeah, okay. And she's going to turn on them.
And Mercedes, and she's going to turn on Willow and then insert her into that
I think the problem...
triangle of love, shall we call it?
Triangle of TBS title.
Yeah.
We've said for a while that Mercedes, or Mercedes as I like calling her, hasn't been getting over because she's not doing anything. It's just crappy promos. The other problem I think now that they've got is Willow Nightingale is probably like the most over babyface on AEW.
And they're just going to feed her to Mercedes.
They love her.
Like,
Everybody loves her. She's so lovable and likable, and everyone you can't be angry at Willow. She's just so nice.
she's got such a bubbly personality.
Yeah, and you have to now put her against Mercedes, which I think you have to turn Mercedes heel. She has to play heel in this match. You can't. You're not turning Willow because we're just not going to do it.
And like that's the thing, as happy as people might be to have Mercedes in AEW,
Yeah,
you want heel Mercedes.
Yes,
Like heel
that's
Sasha Banks was the,
the best
best
Sasha
thing
Banks.
going around.
Yeah.
That feud that she had with Bayley in NXT. Mm-hmm. Have you seen the clip of taking the hairband off Bayley's biggest fan?
Yep.
Like, just let the heel capabilities. They're gonna run rampant if you let her off the leash.
Agree. I absolutely agree. I think turn her heel and make her interesting.
Yeah.
Roddy Strong beat Kyle O'Reilly. Cool.
Kyle O'Reilly cut his hair.
He did get a haircut. That's nice, man.
He looks
So did
much
Lockie.
better.
Did you notice Lockie?
No.
Yeah, he's cut his hair too.
He looked like a dapper yapper though in
Yeah.
his suit, his little.
His
Sneakers.
suit and sneakers. Here's one that we can probably have a quick little chat about. Chris Jericho
we have to,
defeated Hook for the FTW Championship, and then he came out on Dynamite to talk about the learning tree.
The learning tree. Oh no.
And his first person under the learning tree is Big Bill.
Big Bill.
This
Whatever happened
sucks.
to Big Bill and Ricky Starks?
Yeah, I don't know.
He's just not a tag team anymore.
Oh, well, Ricky Starks is going to WWE as soon as his contract ends. He's bloody Cody Rhodes' best mate. Hurry up, Ricky. Come on.
Oh, mate, Ricky, I reckon he'd do well in WWE.
I think he'd
too.
be fantastic.
He'd be one they'll put it straight up on the main roster.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. I don't care about Chris Jericho, but this learning tree gimmick sucks.
Getting booed
Everyone.
heavily, getting told to please retire during the match. Like,
I think he knows that he's now getting cheap heat. And
I think that's what this learning tree gimmick is about
absolutely.
as well. He's going to embrace it
gonna
just
lean
to
into it,
piss
for sure.
people
Yep.
off even more. And it's working already.
we're talking about it, exactly right. It's sad that we don't have Ted here because I think I saw somebody, I can't remember who it was, someone on YouTube. I was watching a video and someone had said that Chris Jericho and the way that he is now, he's getting go away heat.
Yeah.
They should now change the definition of go away heat from X-Pac heat
To Jericho.
to Jericho heat.
Yeah.
Because it's no longer X-Pac and Ted's not here to yell.
X-Pac!
There you go, thank you.
We'll get shirts made. I promise.
Because I think that's like just no one cares about Jericho.
Absolutely not.
Timeless Tony Storm beat Thunder Rosa.
Yep. Good.
Good match. And then the top 3 matches. Will Ospreay, Bryan Danielson. 35 minutes. Absolute outstanding match.
6.5
stars. 6.5 stars, Dave. That's not.
I mean, we
out of 5
called
works.
it. As soon as they announced that match, we're like 6 stars plus.
Yeah, for sure.
We got it right.
And look, they delivered because it was a really fantastic match.
I'm so jealous. I haven't seen it.
I think it's the highest ranked match outside of the Tokyo Dome ever. It's definitely the highest rated match in North America.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Which is crazy. But yes, everything that you thought that this match was going to be, it was. It really was. I'm a little annoyed that then on Dynamite, Ospreay then went into like a Casino Royale gauntlet match.
I didn't even finish
and
watching
won
Dynamite this
to
week.
get a match against Roderick Strong, because I'm like, why?
Why?
Like, why is Ospreay in this match? It doesn't. It was a cool pop when he came out, and him winning was fair because like if he just wrestled 35 minutes and beat Danielson, he's not going to lose to Kyle O'Reilly and fucking Powerhouse Hobbs. So yeah, that was good. Young Bucks beat FTR in a ladder match. That was expected, but also really good. And that was when Jack Perry came
Return
back.
of Jack Perry.
We knew that was going to come.
Yeah.
And then Swerve beat Samoa Joe to finally be crowned as the champion.
Thank God. They did it.
There was a lot of
They did it.
There was a lot of conjecture online, and I will defend AEW for this, where when Swerve came out on Dynamite, he just had a match with Claudio. No, that was on Collision.
Yeah.
Who do you have a match with on Dynamite?
Yeah.
Someone, doesn't
I
matter.
can't remember.
But he just came out for a title, like a
Kyle
title.
Fletcher.
Correct.
Australian.
And it was a good match because
Yeah, it was-
Kyle Fletcher is
yeah,
a
it was a good
fantastic
match.
wrestler. But it was also like a title eliminator for his own title that he'd already won.
Yeah.
And there was no promo, there was no celebration. You're like, what the hell are you doing to Swerve?
Yeah.
The reason, and this is the reason that AEW gave, was that they wanted to do it on Collision because it was on Saturday, and the lead in for Collision is the NBA Finals. So they expected they were going to have more eyes on their product because more people will be watching NBA on TNT. And then when that finishes, you go straight into Swerve's thing, which was then his celebration for it. Obviously being crowned the first black AEW champion ever, like world champion, which is great.
Yep.
And then his match with Claudio, which was also pretty good.
All right. That
It makes sense.
makes business
I
sense.
still think they dropped the ball on Wednesday, though.
Yep.
And then the other thing on Wednesday that, and this is another contentious thing that we'll talk about, was Moxley. I don't know if we brought this up last time, where Moxley was going to face Powerhouse Hobbs
Yep.
for the IWGP title. And then someone in New Japan said, what happens if Hobbs wins that match? He doesn't have a visa to come to Japan. How are you putting him in a title match for a title?
I mean, like, I get the point, but also, like, Moxley just won that title. I think it's a foregone conclusion that he's not losing it anytime soon.
But then why is he defending it? Just get him have a match against
Well,
Powerhouse
yes,
Hobbs.
like, that's what it should have been. It should have been, they could have made it.
But they specifically
title
said it was
eliminator.
IWGP rules because there was the 20-second timeouts, countouts, and all that sort of stuff like that. They went for the New Japan rules. Specifically said that this was for the title, even though there's no way that Powerhouse Hobbs should have won it and doesn't wrestle in New Japan. It doesn't make sense. This is the dumb things that we just don't get at AEW. Why you make silly decisions. Speaking of silly decisions, Tony Khan got piled right on his head and was wearing a neck brace. How funny was that?
I saw that. I was like, oh, God, here we go. I saw that he had the neck brace on during the NFL draft, and I was like, oh, I actually respect this guy. He's trying to keep kayfabe alive.
I agree with
I was
that
like,
point.
oh, yeah.
Except he wasn't. He was
And then,
like doing this the whole time,
yeah.
and just watching.
But then the comments.
I forgot about the comments.
Oh, mate, let
Okay,
me tell you.
No, the first thing I want to complain about Tony Khan is the selling when him and Jack Perry sort of made up in the ring and they sort of hugged it out. And Jack Perry's
was this
horribly awkward cheeky grin. But when he just boom with the microphone and Tony Khan dead set got shot with like a shotgun straight down, like it was the worst selling of any bump I've ever seen.
He's not a wrestler, dude.
Yeah,
He's
but
not a
I'm pretty
wrestler.
sure he could sell that better.
Do you reckon you could sell better?
Yeah.
Come on. Let me punch you in the stomach.
No, let's not do that. No, but like I think that most people could sell a punch to the stomach better than he did.
Yeah.
That was pretty poor. The pile driver, great. And the way that, he took the now Tony Khan driver, not the Melter driver, and then the way
Did they rename it this week because of that, or?
No, I think they did when they were the EVPs. They've renamed it the Tony Khan driver or the TK driver instead.
God.
But the way that his dad Shad came out, and
Yeah.
he acted better than everybody. That was really well done. That ending to Dynamite was great. And then Tony Khan ruined it again.
Yep.
Because we gave him props. So we said, yep, this is a great ending. He did also say, I can't remember, I think Ted shared it in the chat with us a while ago, was that Tony Khan put a quote out in like 2019 or 2020 saying, I'll never be an on-screen character. That's not what I am. Guess what, Tony Khan? You're an on-screen character. I gave him massive props for showing up to the NFL draft wearing the neck brace.
I did as well.
Admittedly, when Pat McAfee and the guy sort of paid him out because he had it on, but then he was still moving around the whole time. Like, that's not how you sell a neck brace. But look, he tried.
Yeah.
And then he went on the NFL Network.
had an interview with a couple of broadcasters. and-
This is what gets me.
Oh, mate, I don't understand the logic. Like, you're there to talk about NFL. If you want to talk up AEW, do it. First of all, AEW is the Pepsi of wrestling. What the kind of comment is that? Why not prop yourself up and say we're the Coke of wrestling?
Because he's not. He's not. He's not.
What's the point in trying to do it at all then?
I get what he was trying to say. If he had have said this the normal analogy, I'm all on board. Coke is the popular choice. It's the big brand.
Yeah.
It's what everybody knows. It's what everyone has. It's Coke. AEW is the Pepsi. It's the alternative. It's a little bit different. Some people like it. Some people don't. But it's an option. But when you go, well, we're the Pepsi of pro wrestling, and WWE is the Harvey Weinstein of wrestling, you're like, what have you done?
It doesn't relate at all. What have you done?
I get.
Oh my God.
He's trying. He was obviously trying to do a grape joke against Vince McMahon. I get it.
Great.
This is not the place to do it. This was so poorly done. You had. You obviously. He's already. A internet meme as it is. A lot of people pay out Tony Khan. We do it all the time. The main reason we think AEW is a mud show is because of Tony Khan. It's not to do with any of the wrestlers or anything that happens. It's Tony Khan doing dumb shit.
And look, it reacts well. You guys click on our stupid videos.
Exactly, but he brings this on himself.
He does.
He said he would never be an on-air character. He got on air and he got pile drived, right? And then we're like, okay, dumb, stupid, but it was a good angle. We're all got more heat for Jack Perry, more heat for the Elite. We're okay. And then he wears a neck brace. Like, sweet, good.
Awesome.
He's
Selling it.
Selling
What a
kayfabe.
champ. What a
I
legend.
like it. And the fact that he's doing it at the NFL draft. There was like 200 and something thousand people in the streets of Detroit watching that draft. Yeah. Plus the millions that watch it online. Like there is a lot of people that watch the NFL and a lot of people, like the draft in the NFL, despite how crappy the WWE one we talked about at the start of this podcast was, the NFL draft is huge business for NFL. And he's on there as one of the owners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, wearing the neck brace, selling a pile driver on his TV show. Good work. Actually, very, very good.
Yeah.
And then you go and say, Harvey Weinstein.
Just ruined it.
Like, you absolute cockbag. Because all of the goodwill that he got from me and from, I'm sure, lots of other people online.
It's gone.
It's gone.
It's gone.
Because and we said this as well before, he is the one that is putting this tribalism in there. He's the one that came out and said WWE and AEW are always going to hate each other. We're always going to be... No, you're saying that. WWE have not come out and said boo about AEW.
Aside from the two non-televised things that were said
But
outside
also,
of the company because they were guests on a show.
Did either of them specifically... I mean, CM Punk aside, because he obviously worked there, so his story was different. Yeah. Triple H never actually said anybody's name. He never mentioned AEW. No. He never said boo about the company whatsoever. He could have been talking about someone from New Japan that they were scouting that just didn't look like they were what they wanted in America. We know it's Will Ospreay. We got it, okay? I understand. But he never actually said it.
No.
Tony Khan has said it
several
times because he's an idiot. Yeah. He's an idiot.
What I thought was really interesting about that whole Will Ospreay thing as well, like, they did the promo and then he got asked about it in the press conference after Dynasty.
Yeah.
And then tried to act like he was just defending AEW and he's sick of the tribalism. Like,
you did it.
Threw the shot.
Yeah.
I just don't understand.
It's that meme where...
It's a victim mentality.
It's the meme where the guy's standing there and he's like, I can't believe people are talking about this. Bang, and they're shooting themselves.
Why would they do
that? That's what AEW is doing. And, Dynasty was so good. In the ring was so good. We have said, Ospreay, shut up with your stupid promos picking on WWE. Just get out there and say bravo a lot, get really energized and excited, and say how much you're the best wrestler in the world, you want to beat someone. And then you and Danielson put on a 6.5 star banger.
Because he can back it up.
Perfect.
Say that shit.
Perfect.
He can back it up. Nail it.
Just don't let Tony Khan do this because it's just every time AEW puts a foot forward, it's 5 steps backwards.
Yep.
MUDSHOW.
Yep. Ted, you better edit that batter in.
Get Jericho off TV, for God's sake.
Just do it.
Learning tree my arms. I'm getting sick of this. Anyway, I think is that enough mud showing?
Yeah, I think that's it. That's all we had on the agenda. Unless we want to do a quick predictions for Backlash.
Do you have the matches for Backlash?
I can look them up.
Let's look that up. Because I am
Let's play
not
some
overly
nice
keen. I don't
hold
really care.
music.
As long as it's not done by Def Rebel, because it'll suck if it is.
Oh, all the videos coming out about new themes getting leaked made by Def Rebel.
Oh,
on
that's
social
great,
media.
isn't
They're
it?
just
Memes.
hilarious. Apparently, I was going to say it before, but apparently people in WWE are well aware of all the backlash about Def Rebel at the moment, and they're conscious of it. So hopefully it will
something
work,
about it.
and they will fire them.
I just hate how that they have to announce who the wrestler is. It's Tiffy time because we don't know who it is otherwise. The music
Except
sucks.
he's always had that. All right, we currently have 5 confirmed matches.
Okay.
I'd say that's probably going to be all the card because they usually will have a couple of like backstage segments to chew up the time,
Yeah, maybe.
like Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, but those were 2 chamber matches. This is just a card. I think they'll have to put maybe 1 or 2 more on.
Maybe.
AEW was like
Anyway,
11 or 12
work from the bottom
matches.
up. Let's go. Women's Tag Team Champions Kabuki Warriors versus Bianca and Jade.
Bianca and Jade are not losing this match.
100%.
Unless there is a shoddy finish somewhere that Dakota and that get involved and maybe Nia Jax or someone gets around. If there's no shoddy finish, 100% Bianca and Jade win this.
Yeah, I don't see a shoddy finish happening. I just think they're going to change titles.
I'm
Put them together as a team. Just
all for it.
let them have the ball. Let them run with it.
Good luck anybody beating those 2. Literally anybody.
Yep. Randy Orton and Kevin Owens versus Solo and
this will be fun.
Tamatonga.
This will be
This
fun.
is going to be a good match.
Is this the debut of
Yes.
Joseph Fatu, you reckon?
Yes, Jacob.
Jacob Fatu. Yes.
I 100% reckon Jacob Fatu will be making his debut and costing Randy and Kevin the win, helping Bloodline get over.
Because I thought, why would they do that over in France? That doesn't make any sense. That's silly. And then you told me that's how Solo debuted at Clash of the Castle.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, it was too.
And then also, like, they flew AJ all the way to Australia just to
get a chair
cost-
shot on LA Knight.
just to cost LA Knight the chamber match. Like,
Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right.
WWE will do it. They'll do it.
I like it. I think it's a good idea. I think the more you can get this Bloodline story cooking sooner, the better it is.
Yeah, and there was rumors that Jacob Fatu was going to debut last week, this week.
Yeah.
I think Backlash is dead. People are also assuming Uncle Howdy will debut at
No,
Backlash.
I saw something that said one of the codes or whatever that you deciphered and stuff for all the Uncle Howdy stuff. One of them came back with the numbers. What was it? Something JUN15, which is the 15th of June, which is
Clash at the
Clash of the Castle. It's Clash of the
SmackDown.
Castle. It's Clash of the
Yeah.
Castle.
Ooh.
So, that was, if you deciphered the words correctly, that was the date that you possibly could have seen that. So they reckon he comes at Clash of the Castle.
Yeah. Okay. I'm so pumped for that.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool. I'm
The
very
new teaser this week. The door is open. Do you want to meet him? Like,
Ooh.
bask in his
Sign me
glory.
up.
WWE Women's Championship triple threat match: Bayley, Naomi, and Tiffy.
Bayley retains.
Yeah, as much as I want Tiffy time, it's not happening yet.
I loved what
I think there are going to be a lot of close falls to make people think that they're going to do it.
Yeah.
But Bayley's retaining.
No, Bayley needs a decent run with it. She deserves
Yeah.
it. I loved the line that Pat McAfee said to Cole on Raw tonight when he was talking about it. When Tiffy got drafted to SmackDown, Pat went to Cole and he was like, "Yeah, do you know what that means for SmackDown? Do you know what time that is?" And
Tiffy time.
Cole was like, "It's Tiffy time." And
No, it's 8 Central.
It's 8 p.m. Central. Cole, you idiot.
Good work.
The
Good work.
videos that they put out between those two, that camera on the desk.
Yeah.
Oh,
there was at one point, I can't remember what it was during Raw today, where
talking about
actually
the
I heard Dom being a dude wipe after you've wiped.
Yeah, they're so good.
So good.
The only problem is we're going to lose Pat in like a couple of months when the NFL and the college football season starts again. He'll be gone.
Sad.
Very sad.
Sad. Who's going to replace him?
CM
Mike
Punk.
Rome.
CM Punk.
No, he's going to be on-screen talent.
Maybe.
All right. World Heavyweight Championship. Damian Priest versus Jey Uso. Fuck out of here.
No, there's no way he wins.
No way.
Damian Priest
No
wins
way.
this.
Yeah. And then, these matches are so predictable. AJ versus
Cody Rhodes.
Yeah. It's...
Look, we said the same
think-
thing about Elimination Chamber, was that we could pretty much predict every match, and we all got every winner that we expected it to be, but we were super happy with the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
As long as they put on good matches,
They're going to put on some bangers. Because we know they can deliver. But yeah, that's...
It sucks too with Jimmy Uso being injured, so he wasn't drafted because I would have liked to have seen him start to get involved with Jay,
Yeah.
but that's not going to happen anytime soon.
No. Is he legit injured? Or are they
Yeah,
just...
he's legit injured.
Okay.
Yeah. I think they wrote him off kayfabe again, but he's injured.
Jesus, they have a lot of people on the shelf right now.
Yep. Well,
people.
there was no matches added in Raw, was there?
No. I remember seeing a post. Someone thought the Bronson and Sami Zayn match was going to be on the card, but they had that match on Raw. So
Yeah, okay, no. Maybe a tag match or something from SmackDown.
yeah, no, neither tag
Because
titles
aren't
are on
they?
the line at the
I
moment.
think on SmackDown this week aren't Street Profits versus A-Town Down Under.
Yeah,
So maybe that ends in a dodgy finish and they redo it or something. Or
maybe.
I don't know.
But it's also in France, so
it is
why,
in France.
Why do it? France. hey.
France. Why do it overseas? I don't know. Why not?
No, why do it on SmackDown and then have it the next night on the fucking pay-per-view?
That's also a very good point.
Stupid.
Is SmackDown must have been pre-taped then?
No, they're doing it in
Oh, they're
France.
doing it in France.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, right.
I just said that.
I didn't hear that.
Didn't
part
listen
Of it.
properly.
Not that part.
Jesus.
Open
All right.
your ears, people. Listen better.
Wraps up the show today.
Yeah,
Nice one.
good. We're still
Under an hour and a
20.
half.
Woohoo! See what happens when Ted's not here. We just roll through stuff.
Yeah,
It's great.
but he brings the flow. You know.
He does.
I tried to flow it as best as I could.
We missed you, Ted.
I hope I did you proud, Ted.
Yeah.
I put in some effort today instead of just being like, "Oh, what do you want to talk about now?" Like an idiot.
Yes,
like I
Cody
usually do.
Rhodes. Yeah, what do you want to talk about?
I'm so over. I'm not over Cody as champ, but I'm over him saying, "What do you want to talk about?"
I thought that was
It's
really
a shitty freaking saying.
sad when he did it.
You just made the
Was it in the middle of the AJ thing? Yeah. He came out and he's like,
So
what do you want to talk about? You know exactly what you want to talk about. He's already cutting the promo.
AJ cut the promo. And you know it. I
Uh,
don't like. I try not to swear on YouTube.
I
Fuck
think
that
that
shit.
that match would be good though. I think they'll put on a really, really good match, and I think they won't touch too much on the AJ and Dusty story yet. I think they'll save
There's
that.
potential for that moving forward.
Yeah.
So
Look, I think it'll be fine. A fine pay per view. I'm not expecting high hopes. I'm expecting 3.5 star, 4-star matches from it. I'm not expecting a lot of storyline progression. I'm expecting maybe the bloodline stuff to happen, and the title changes for the women. But otherwise, it should be fine. And then now that the draft is out of the way and all that stuff's done, they'll restart their stories again. And I think this is the kickoff point. So nothing's drastically going to change here.
nope, not at all. All right.
Fantastic.
Let's Ted wrap up.
Like, subscribe, follow us
Oh
on
yeah,
TikTok,
I haven't
YouTube,
said that.
Instagram,
Maybe there's a banner. Right
all
here.
that kind of stuff.
Yep.
There'll
Follow
be a
us on all the
video.
social medias.
Video, we'll try and put it over like there, like to cover where Ted would be. Be a good idea for us to put it there, but it might not because I don't know what YouTube does. Maybe it puts it right here, and who knows? Yeah, check out our other videos, check out our playlists. Thanks, Reece. Thanks for hosting.
Thanks,
and
Dan.
keeping this show together.
Dan Danielson.
Rowdy Warrior Reece.
Book a Ted E. Bear.
Fantastic.
Gotta love him. It's very talkative today. Very talkative.
Yeah, look, and he's quite intent. He's stared at us the entire time.
Yeah. What is he looking at over there? Don't know. Anyway, let's wrap it up. Thank you for tuning in, coming to Madison Square Garage, talking about wrestling. with
Around
us.
the pool table of relevancy.
Yep. We'll see you next time, next week. Catch you later. Oh, we're going back to Scissor.
Yeah!